Good morning. Think you guys can hear me. Welcome to Coach K's Corner. Today we are going to be talking about stress in the corner. It is actually Stress Awareness Month. I don't know if you guys know that. You've probably heard about it, of course, if you've been listening to the radio, because they've been talking about it on the radio. But Stress Awareness Month has been held every year since April of 1992. And it's the goal was to increase public awareness about stress causes and cures about what they're calling the modern stress epidemic. So despite this running for 29 years, still a long way to go. Obviously, as you've heard over and over and over again, COVID did not help any of that. COVID just added another layer on top of whatever you had going on in your life already. COVID just threw, 2,000 pounds on top of that. But guess what? One thing I do want you to know, if you go to stress.org, there's a lot of information there. And they talk about Stress Awareness Month. They even offer a 30-day challenge to regain connectivity, certainty, and control in your life. That's the theme for Stress Awareness Month for 2021. Regaining connectivity, certainty, and control. That's pretty powerful, don't you think? Considering that those are three things that would definitely help you in this time in your life. Connections with other people always help in times of stress. Connections with other people, being able to get out of your comfort zone and ask for help, being able to connect with resources. And one way you learn about the resources in your community when you are stressed out is to connect with people. People know things, people know resources. So a good thing to do is not stay isolated in times of stress. So connecting with others, um, connecting with others, and learning how to maintain management over your thought life. Believe it or not, yes, you can. You have the ability to manage your response to what's happening to you. You have the ability to manage your response to anything in your environment. The key is you just have to learn how to do that. You have to learn how to do that. And that's where therapists, social workers, that's where we come in. Sometimes you need medication. Let me tell this culture something about medication. People think if you're taking medication, if you have to go see the counselor, if for heaven forbid you have to go see the psychiatrist. Oh my goodness, watch out for Kim because something's wrong and she's crazy. Okay, I really need us to stop using that word in this community because this has nothing to do with being crazy. This is having enough sense to know when you are struggling and you need help. It's that simple. Have enough sense to know when you are struggling and when you need help, and then find the resources to go get that help. Everything that I'm doing in the corner, the webinars, the Relax in the Corner that happens on Thursdays, the support groups that are coming, it is all to be a safe place for you to come and learn and educate yourself about common issues that impact you. These are issues I talk about all the time, every day in my practice. Codependency, stress and anxiety. Again, this is Stress Awareness Month. And then the difficulty that I see people have when they do not have healthy relationships. That's healthy romantic relationships, which we talk about. And when people do not have a grounded foundation, their morals and their values are not being aligned or used as a foundation for their life. I see that. That's how I came up with the foundation class of learning how to have a healthy relationship with God, yourself, and other people. That is so important. The again, like I said, the codependency, the anxiety, and then learning how to have healthy romantic relationships. That is so important. And then wellness. People overlook themselves. You overlook yourself so much You take care of everybody else. You be sure that everything else is okay. And who's looking after you? Who's sitting down with you? Who's checking in with you? And you know, that's your job. It's your job to take care of your feelings, your body, your life. That's your job. That is not anybody else's job. So when you walk around and you just put your head down and you say, "Nope, I got it. I can do it. I don't need any help. I don't need to talk to anybody. I don't need any medication." You are sabotaging yourself. You are sabotaging yourself. You don't have to live life like that. You're trying to prove something too. And if you have family members who are ignorant, I've always said let ignorant people be ignorant by themselves. But I'm not going down with you. Hey, I'm not going down with you because you don't want to be open to resources, processes that could possibly get you some help. Particularly in our culture, we talk about the church. Now, y'all know I love God. Y'all know that God is number one. That is the foundation of my life. That is where my strength comes from. That is what guides me. That's where my morals and my values are rooted from. Y'all know that. So this has nothing to do with knocking a church. I love my church. I love my pastor. But people have been put here to be a reflection of God on earth and to be used by God. Okay, so you can't say counseling is bad because they have counselors in the church. Don't you go to your pastor for counseling or ministers of the church for counseling? So you can't say that counseling is bad because they're doing it in the church. It doesn't make sense to me, right? But again, who goes down with the ship? With the ship because I'm afraid or because I don't know what it's about. Go see, go try, go talk to somebody, see what it feels like. It's not, we're not in there singing kumbaya and doing chants and running around the building 10 times. It really helps to have a safe place with a professional that can help you process your feelings, identify them, clarify them, and learn how to communicate them and learn how to accept them. Okay. So we really need to work on that in our community. The other thing I wanted to do this morning is I wanted to kind of talk about, people kind of use stress and anxiety interchangeably. Sometimes I do too. Both of them are extremely bad for you, and both of them can end you up in the hospital. Both of them can end you up with some pretty severe results in your life and in your body if you don't learn how to manage them. Okay. Now, typically, when people talk about stress, we're gonna talk about some differences that they say, and I'll give my little 2 cents on what I think about this particular information. But typical differences between stress and anxiety. So everybody worries. Everybody has life happening to them. Okay. But typically, when we're talking about stress in general, we're talking about life changes, life issues, things that come up in life, day to day life that uh, cause a reaction. Um, for example, um, it's kind for example, let's say you get up in the morning and you go into work, you got your best suit on, you go through somewhere and get you some coffee, you spill the coffee on your clothes. And unfortunately, this is a white suit. It's something very bright. So now we're walking around with a stain on our clothes. We have this important presentation to do today. Okay, that is stress. That's what we are calling stress. Being able to the difficulty that arises from trying to deal with day-to-day events. Okay, that's a safe thing to identify stress. Okay, stress hormones cause your blood pressure to go up. Stress hormones. So when you get stressed out, your body releases hormones in your body. It causes your blood pressure to go up, your heart rate increases, and there are other changes that happen in your body. And over a long period of time of evoking that response in your body, you can have issues. There's a risk for cardiovascular disease, cancer, heart attack, and stroke. So stress, anxiety, we don't have to be too technical. Both of them will kill you. When we talk about Um, Anxiety, a clinical condition of anxiety, we're talking about a condition that has lasted, it's chronic and it's lasted longer than 6 months. Okay. Another thing I want you to think about when we're talking about stress versus anxiety, um, do you believe that you have the ability to regain control over your mood? Um, Given whatever the situation is. You do have the power to create positive change no matter what has occurred that is stressful. And if you believe this about yourself, then you are just experiencing a life stress event. So if you something happens and you believe, oh my goodness, yes, this is a challenge, but I can recover. This is typically what we mean by stress, but feeling out of control, like your life is like something bad is going to happen. You're worrying a lot, or that these thoughts and this worry process is something that you cannot control, that is likely to lead to symptoms of depression and anxiety. If you find that you rarely stop worrying and that this worrying and racing of thoughts is actually occurring 6 months or longer, you are dealing with a condition of anxiety. We've kind of moved past stress, things have become chronic, um, and now we're talking about anxiety. Okay. And the other thing about calling a disorder is just how much dysfunction it's causing in your life. So some people could have signs and symptoms that might look like anxiety, but how much dysfunction is being caused from it. And that's really the key. As a therapist, I don't want you to have dysfunction, right? You go to counseling, you find a psychiatrist, you get tested, you are evaluated, rather, let me say, and you take medicine to minimize the dysfunction that shows up in your life from a stress and anxiety. Let me say this about medication too. Personally, this is what I tell my clients. I'm not one who believes that you just have to be on medication forever. But when your stress response is kicked up so high, you could come to session and I could talk to you and I could give you techniques. I could teach you techniques to help you manage your thought life and manage the sensations in your body. I could talk till I am blue in the face. But if your stress response is kicked up so high, guess what's going to happen when you leave my office? When you leave my office, your body and your mind is going to return to the path of least resistance. What do I mean? I mean, you're going to keep doing what you've been doing because your stress response is too high. Okay? Anxiety and stress, let me tell you, this is like, and now everybody can be anxious from time to time. Let me say that. But anxiety in your body, stress in your body, it's like, and this is when you are unable to manage it, if that makes sense. Okay. Not being able to manage it. It is like you are sounding an alarm. What I call it is you have hit the red button. When you hit that red button, how do you hit the red button? You hit it with your thoughts. Your body reacts to what you say, it reacts to what you say. You teach it to respond. So you can teach your body to respond to stress and anxiety. When you don't do that and you are just winging it and just running wild, then you allow your body to react to people, places, things. That is not how you are going to live a happy, healthy, long, fulfilling life, allowing your body to just walk around and react on you. And this reaction is like, something happens and you hit the red button and all the gates in your warehouse come up, all the tanks come out, the AK-47, the bazooka, the message is sent to all the aircraft carriers to tell the jets to take off. That's the sensation. That's the message you're sending your body, and it's like, hey, hurry up. There's a perception of a threat, a loss, a demand, or a challenge. And the biggest part is that I perceive that I do not have the resources to meet or manage or mitigate said threat, loss, demand, or challenge. That's how powerful your thoughts are, people. That's how powerful your thoughts are. Do not sit around and give away this much power to people, places, and things. To your job, to family members, don't give them that much power. Give them that much power. You come back and take control of your life. It is time for change. It is time for you to learn how to live better, live healthier, do better. It's time. It is time. Okay, when we talk about what do you do? So you say, Kim, okay, thank you. We got a little bit of the better understanding about stress and anxiety. The difference between stress and anxiety, though, like I said, both are unhelpful, are unhelpful and unhealthy. They both are. Um, so something that you're going to have to deal with no matter what. So what? So you say, Kim, okay, fine. Your life can be difficult because you choose to worry. Worry may seem like it comes natural. There are techniques to help you stop worry. When it shows up, it pops up, you're at work, you start daydreaming, and somehow you have looped through 5 or 10 minutes of just worrying, sitting and rehearsing thoughts, rehearsing to-do lists, rehearsing events, events that haven't happened. You're rehearsing, you're anticipating, you're putting in distortions. Okay. You don't want to do that to yourself. Okay. So I want to encourage you to make changes in your life because of stress and because of anxiety. And this can look different in these changes that may need to be made. That's unique to your life. But I do want to give you some tips this morning to help you manage stress and anxiety. Okay. One, it's very important to get your rest, people. Okay, very important to get your rest. Now I know sometimes life happens. There are work crunches. There are things that just can happen, and you got to do what you got to do. Okay, I hear you. However, you don't want that to be a chronic situation where 2, 3 months go by and you just doing what you got to do. But have you realized that you're not sleeping? Have you realized that you're not eating? Last 3 months, you've gained 5 to 10 pounds. Why? Because you're not meal planning, you're eating stuff on the go, and you're typically not eating things that are healthy for you. So, number one, try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Some people's bodies don't need as much sleep. Maybe you work well off of six. I don't know about much less than six, but we could say 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That is critical to a productive day. Um, and the important thing about sleep is that what you really want is REM sleep. Side note, I was watching a documentary on Michael Jackson. That was my era. Grew up with Mike, Prince, and both of those guys are dead. They don't have to be. But propofol, this is something I did not realize that propofol. Michael Jackson was taking propofol for months before he passed. What I did not know about propofol, which I learned, was that from the testimonies of the doctors. It was a nice little show. His anniversary of his death is coming up. But anyway, he was using propofol to get sleep, which he was calling rest. The problem was propofol does not allow you to reach REM sleep. REM sleep is the sleep of restorative sleep where you dream. That's REM sleep. So if you are not dreaming, if you are not reaching REM sleep when you sleep, your body is not doing what it's supposed to do when you go to bed at night. It's not restoring itself. And he went this way for months. Some of the footage that I saw of that man um, trying to do this is it tour behind stage, he looked like a walking zombie. And he was like this big. It was absolutely horrific. They had his chef on there. I'm kind of going on a tangent for a second because I couldn't believe this. They had his chef on there, and his chef was talking about how healthy he looked and he was in good spirits. And I'm thinking, hey, that man looks sick. That man looked sick, and everybody around him seemed to be very compliant in watching him make these choices about his life. But he was Mike. He had a will. He made choices. So there you go. So I don't want to get into a debate about that. But the point that I was making was he was doing something, taking that propofol in an effort to get sleep when he was actually robbing his body of sleep. Isn't that fascinating? That's interesting to me. So you want to try to get 7 to 9 hours of sleep, maybe six. So think about waking up early. Now, that's hard for me. Waking up early for me is hard, but it is so beneficial when I'm able to do it. It helps you not feel like you have awakened and then your day takes off and you have been shot out of a cannon and you don't come down for air until 10 o'clock that night. That is not good. That is not healthy for your body. So if there's a way to wake up 15, 30 minutes earlier and just kind of slow the pace of that down, have time to have breakfast, break the fast you've been in while you were sleeping, create time to go meditate, which is another thing that you can do. Journal, that's another thing that you can do. Go talk to God, go sit and get with your foundation for the day and have a little talk with Jesus. You know the song, have a little talk with Jesus. But go get aligned before you just bam go bust out your doors and out of your garage and get in your car and you off to the races and you hadn't talked to the Lord, your Father. You haven't talked to him to get any direction. You haven't talked to him to say thank you. You haven't talked to him to say thank you for making me the head and not the tail. Thank you that the work of my hands are blessed. Okay, thank you that I can sit at the table of my enemies and my head is anointed with oil. Thank you that I have the joy of the Lord, that my strength comes from you, that my youth is renewed like the eagles every day. Praise God. You haven't spoken over your day. Okay. You know what? Satan is trying to speak over your day. Satan is trying to figure out a way to take your day. And sometimes if he gets you caught up in a circle, in a cycle, you start um blaming him, giving Satan credit for stuff you doing. Okay. If you're sitting up choosing to worry all day and meditate on worries and fears, Satan ain't doing that to you. You're doing that to you. Okay. So sometimes people, I think, you blaming God for stuff that's not God's fault. It's in the world because it's a curse, or it's in the world because God gives everybody free will. Okay. And then some stuff you're doing that you giving Satan credit for. When all Satan is just looking into the door of your life and seeing what you're doing. And if you in there create enough chaos, what does he have to do but sit and watch you destroy your own life, watch you turn challenges and distress into misery and torment? He'll watch you do that. Okay. And that's another benefit of Coach K's Corner, of course. The benefits of the webinars, the support group, the Facebook, the Relax in the Corner. Come on. I want you to be better. I want you to get your life in order. I want you to be happy. Life is not, you gotta wake up and life hurts or life is miserable or, oh gosh, it's another day. No, this is another day that the Lord has made. Be glad in it. Rejoice. Be glad in it. Because you know what? Some people didn't make it here today. And whatever it is you're facing and whatever it is you're challenging that's challenging for you today, whatever you're dealing with today, take the Lord in that before you. Realize that He's there with you. Take Him in that before you. Let Him be your shield. Let the Word of God be your shield. And let the Word of God fight the battle. You understand what I'm saying? But every day you wake up is a blessing. You're here for a reason. So you need to figure out what that is. So again, I Coach can't get the preaching on you in a minute if you let me, but I'm trying to stay focused. We're talking about anxiety and stress this morning. I'm not trying to get my sermon today, praise God. So we talked about wake up 15, 30 minutes early, get you some good sleep, meditate, um, journal, declutter. Talked about this the other day. Declutter. And you might say, Lord have mercy, coach. Do you know how much I actually have to declutter? No, I don't. But I do know that you can break it down room by room, a little bit by a little bit by little bit. Doesn't have to be Mount Everest. Don't go try and tackle Mount Everest, all of Mount Everest in a day. That's not even sensible. Don't even set yourself up for failure like that. Put yourself on a plan. This Saturday, we're gonna deal with this room. Or if the room really needs a lot of work, this is what we're gonna do with this room this weekend on Saturday for about an hour or two. We're gonna put stuff in piles that belong together. Sunday, we might try to put some stuff in boxes. That's it. Okay. The next weekend, if we got to pick back up with this room, so be it. Nobody's rushing you. Nobody's rushing you. It doesn't have to happen all today. Okay. So decluttering is good. Learning something new is good. Find a new language. Now I'm kind of convicted on that one because I've been saying I want to get back with Spanish and beef up my language skills. That's exciting to me. But you also have to find time to do it. So time management is another important tool that's helpful when we're talking about stress and anxiety too. Probably more stress than the anxiety part. But time management is good. Exercise. I know I've been saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. It is getting warm again outside. I don't even think we didn't have much of a winter. It got cold for a minute, but it's getting warm again outside. And I typically walk. I like walking. I just downloaded this walk app because why? It's getting warm outside. Don't really have. I can't give myself any excuses not to do what's best for me as part of my love walk with myself. You also might want to think about disengaging from social media. Take a time out from social media. You know, a lot of people fast at the beginning of the year. They fast in the middle of the year. I don't know how attached, excuse me, you are to social media, but have you ever thought about, excuse me, fasting from social media, taking a break? Social media is oh, you have to just keep it in context. People go to social media and they compare their lives and they look for who's doing what and what do I need to do or what am I being left out on or this fear of missing out. Come on, people. Sometimes you just need to give it a break and own your life and let other people own theirs. That is possible. Okay. And so just because your life doesn't look like somebody else's doesn't mean it's not worth it. It means your life is different, but own it. And if it's something in your life you don't like, then take action steps to change it. Right? Own that, change it, fix it, make it what you like, step by step by step. You have the ability to do that, and it's your responsibility to do that. Another thing that you can do is perform a random act of kindness. A while back, they had this thing about, you go through the drive-through, you pay for the person behind you. That was a night. I don't know who came up with that. I've done it. But it's a great feeling to know that you've been a blessing, however small, or however, you never know how small that is to somebody. Could be larger than you think. But performing in random acts of kindness gives you a wonderful feeling. Surrounding yourself with happy people. Look, if you're already a grumpy person, if you already tend to complain, if you already tend to see the negative side of things, if you already tend to gossip, maybe you should be around people who are doing healthier things to help you do healthier things and help hold you accountable for getting healthier behaviors in your life and hold you accountable, help you point out when you are engaging in toxic behaviors in your life. Just the thought. And then spending time with a loved one is always good. Spending time with a loved one, and that loved one doesn't necessarily, they say loved one, but let me tell you, a lot of people I talk to don't have the best relationships with their family. That's okay. So how about we say spending time with someone that is supportive? So that could be your best friend. That could be quality time with your spouse. That could be a girls' trip weekend, a girls' day out, whatever you want to call it. But it's connecting with people that you love and that you believe love and support you, so that you can be encouraged. Lastly, I want to encourage everybody to practice self care. Come on, people. I even have a class, a webinar on self care and what that really looks like. self-care in the context of wellness. So check it out. Those webinars begin next week. Wellness and that talks about covering the 8 dimensions of wellness in your life. That is what true self-care is. So that is also a webinar. I do want to encourage you to join me. You can always go to Coach K Corner with a K.com. So COACHK Corner.com. And you can find out about all the upcoming events I have going on. I look forward to seeing you there. We will have another Facebook Live event on every Monday of April and the first Monday in May right now. So the Facebook Live events are going to be 7 o'clock on the next 1, 2, 3, 4 Mondays. So I look forward to seeing you. We will be talking about other interesting topics. We will be talking more about stress management. We might even do some relaxation exercises on some of these Mondays, but we will talk more about that. So I look forward to seeing you. I hope you guys have a fantastic weekend, and I will talk to you on Monday. Stay safe and stay blessed.